the defense.
Welcome back to Split the Defense, Leafs post-game, presented by Laforest Electrical Contractors, serving Kingston and the surrounding area since 2004. Jordan Webster with Craig Pearce and producer Ted Evans in the booth to recount the Leafs defeating the Oilers on Hockey Night in Canada 4-3, thanks to an offside call that went our way this time.
Thanks to John Klingberg.
Isn't that nice? Thanks to John Klingberg. Great way to start the show. Thank you, John Klingberg, for signing in Edmonton and not even coming back to Toronto, because we did not want that.
I mean, we're glad he's on that team tonight for sure.
Absolutely. So it was a big game for scoring. Leafs have struggled the last few games to score goals. That's been the theme. And it took them 6 minutes to score their first one tonight, and then another 6 minutes or so, and they had 3 in the first period. Who do you give first star to tonight? Who do you think led the charge in this offensive drive tonight?
Well, I mean, first star goes to John Klingberg. Second star, I think, goes to Joe Woll. I know you want to talk about offense, but I think the second period, he just kind of stood on his head for a bit. Like the save he made just right at the buzzer tonight. Like Joe, like we were talking last game, like this team's not good at anything really. Maybe they needed like a goalie. Maybe goalie tending needs to be their thing. And it was tonight, you know, our goaltender was better than theirs. And, yeah, when you give up like 45 shots or even more, maybe, it's hard to ask your goalie to go through that every night. And that's why we need 2 of them. We need Stolarz to come back. But as far as offensively, I don't know. I like a lot of like Bobby McMahon played really well. Matthew Nyes played really well. I actually thought like great game from Robertson, like a lot of dog in that guy tonight, and like see more of that. And I'd be happy to see him in the playoff lineup. So yeah, it was an exciting game. Like it's like you don't want to kind of blow a lead like that. You know, it's nice that one got called back, obviously, but just that was like an exciting game. I found even like through the entire game, even the second period, like, you know, basically just cheering on Joseph Woll to stand on his head. But I don't know, that was definitely fun. It's good when you're on the winning side of it, I guess. If they had lost, I might feel a lot different.
That's fair. Yeah, they almost did blow it. You know, Connor McDavid coming in over the line just barely was the difference between a tie game and a potential loss. They did play well. They pushed pace tonight, I thought, though. Of all the games in the last week that they've played, last 2 weeks where they've struggled, they really played faster tonight, it felt. They had 3 goals in the first, one from Willie, one from Nyes, one from McMahon. And, you know, all 3 were from pushing the play, not hanging onto the puck and being too cautious with it, just from pushing. Especially Nyes, where they just threw it at the net on the power play and he just tucks it in. Yeah. But the power play is starting to get results as well. Do you think that you're seeing anything differently from this power play, or is it just like they're starting to fall now? Because like I was looking at it myself and thinking, this doesn't look very good. And then they scored twice.
Yeah, I mean, like a big part of, I think, this power play is like if they can get zone entry, like that a lot of the time is their problem, is just not being able to get into the zone really well. But once they're there, like, I think they are kind of playing better than they have been, moving it quicker, not holding on to the puck as much as like long. And just like you said, like scoring the Nyes goal tonight is like, yeah, putting a puck on net and just trusting that he'll get to it. I think Marner too is what like, he's like really recognizing that that's something that, you know, it's an offensive like opportunity just to get it in there. Like, and Nyes has cleaned up a few times for him. Yeah. So
we have an advantage in there with Matthew Nyes, with the hands that he's got and the quickness that he's got. Absolutely.
And the size on him too. Like this is a huge body that has that quickness and hand. So Yeah. Nyes in general, just like he was for being a first game back, like I couldn't believe the legs he had. Like even to like the very like end of the third period, one of the fastest guys on the ice. So good to see Nyes like really giving it because I always kind of give a guy a break on his first game back. Like it's hard to expect you to jump into an NHL game when you've been sitting out, but he looked perfectly fine.
So did you not think that overall the team kind of took their foot off the gas in the second? Like they had that great first, they had those guys score. Second period was not as good. They got no goals. They allowed one. Marner did open the third with a goal, but after that and in between that, it was kind of more Oilers, if not all Oilers.
Oh yeah.
Did you not notice that it was a big dump in play there? Like I don't know if they fully deserved to take the W out in this one. I was thinking after they scored 3 goals, okay, well, good. Joseph Woll only lets in 2, so they should win this game. But they certainly like fell off structure-wise, defensive-wise. And do you think that's just trading chances with one of the best offensive teams in the league?
I mean, like it was pretty easy for me to like expect that the Oilers are going to come and push offensively, like and take chances. I thought like the second period was pretty predictable. Like obviously I'd love the Leafs to come out and just dominate for 3 periods, but like I don't know, it is kind of the identity like we've been talking about that like our goaltender has to play really well. And so like yeah, it was a little to be expected, but yeah, like you definitely don't want to see them like give up a bunch of goals in the second, and that's just part of like our goalie playing well. So yeah, the Marner goal is like the most important goal of the night. Coming out in the third period and scoring in 18 seconds is like that just changes everything, and it showed like we needed that goal to win. So yeah, like I think that's the more important thing is being able to bounce back and come out hot in the third. Because like I don't know, all it's a pretty common trait like throughout the league that when you get a 3-goal lead, you tend to sit back a little bit and not play as hard. Like that's why it's the worst lead in hockey. And so yeah, just one of those where you just got to be able to break through it and survive kind of the offensive charge that you're always going to get from McDavid and Draisaitl. And like how like you come to the third period too and the Leafs are like up pretty big, and you just got to expect that like not enough guys that you would expect to score have scored. Where's Hyman's goal? Where's Corey Perry's goal? Where's John Klingberg's goal? So yeah,
Well, I haven't got a goal. Yeah,
that's what I mean. So then third period comes along, and of course those 2 of those 3 have to score. So
Perry gets his goal. Yep.
yeah, that should have been the bet going in. I actually almost texted you mentioning it. If like the parlay tonight is Klingberg, Perry, and Hyman all getting points. So I forgot about Connor Brown. You could have thrown him in, but I'm not sure Klingberg got any points tonight, but he definitely helped us.
Yeah, definitely got some brownie points for Leafs fans.
Yeah.
100% there. Stuart Skinner, man. 4 goals on 19 shots for old Stewie Skinner. How have the Edmonton Oilers not picked up another goaltender yet? Do you think this guy's better than that? Is he good? Like I just don't see it.
He's good in spurts. Like he also has the most shutouts in the last 2 weeks, which is 2. So he's just so hot and cold,
And
man.
an 857 tonight.
Right. And like a 700 something save percentage another night in the last 2 weeks too. He is that kind of crazy hot and cold kind of goalie, and it would be there's someone who should have like taken a chance on a goalie this year as a really solid backup. I know they have cap problems just like everybody else, but like just finding like one of those veterans that you can rely on a little bit more. Like who even is their backup? I don't even know, but it's not someone good enough.
Card.
Yeah. See, like that's not good enough as your backup. If you're gonna have a guy who's just like, gonna be like this tonight, like especially what was it, 3 goals on like 12 shots or something that he let in initially. So, yeah, but he played pretty well after that fact. Like he made some pretty good saves, but yeah, he is definitely like he's not a goalie where like the Oilers aren't going into the playoffs and it's thinking we're going to rely on our goaltending. They're going in the playoffs thinking we need to outscore our goaltending woes. So, yeah, different mindset for sure.
And that certainly didn't work out tonight. Now, it was a super entertaining hockey game. And as Justin Bourne points out here on Twitter right now, that's a pretty crappy way for the game to end. But
Agreed.
I mean, like, do you agree with the making the right call, or would you rather see not the video review there and lose the game over a call? It's really close.
It's only a tie game at that point. You don't necessarily lose it. I did think it was really crappy. Like, you watch that back and like, that's where I feel like video review has gotten in the way of just and fans just having a good time watching a game. Like, and I feel for all those Oiler fans, especially the ones in the building. Like, that's kind of tough. So, yeah, I do think that it is like, I don't know, like if that's the other way, like I'm probably even more upset, but it was crappy. I personally, I would have rather this game have been tied and to go into overtime. And I think kind of the game deserved it, just the way it was going. And like the Oilers played just as good as the Leafs did tonight, I think. So, yeah, I do think it's kind of crappy, and but at the same time, I don't want them to get rid of video review, So I don't know where the line is there. Video review though, I think is kind of shitty sometimes. And I think it should be used kind of, in different ways. Like I'm always arguing in baseball. I think
it's really
like
hard when it goes your way, right?
Yeah, like the strike zone thing, I think is so obvious, and they should do that. But like when it's like in such a fast paced game, like it should almost be like only if it's obvious. Like we're talking about an inch or something, and I don't know. Like any other level of hockey, that's a good goal, right? It's only in the NHL that gets called back. Do they do video review in like NCAA or? I know they don't do it in the OHL, so.
They don't do it in the A, I don't think, do they?
Right. So, like, yeah, that's a good goal everywhere
Offside
else in the
review?
world. Yeah.
Maybe they do. Maybe they
I'm
do.
sure there's some
I don't know.
pro leagues in Europe that probably do it, but yeah.
It is kind of shitty to see a game end that way after such an entertaining product of goals back and forth. And, like, I'm not going to lie, it was a bit sleepy to go into that third period. I was falling asleep a little bit, like figuratively. And then when McDavid scored that goal, I was awake, and when it came back off the clock, I was awake again. It was,
Did you celebrate? Did you celebrate the goal getting called back?
Oh yeah, of course I did.
I didn't. I kind of I sat back and I kind of like sighed a little bit, like just like a sigh of relief, but also a sigh of just like, God damn, that sucks.
I was like, yay, one for the good guys.
Right. It's almost to me, if it's the playoffs, I definitely think that should be called back. But for a regular season, like I feel like it's more about entertainment, and like, does that really change the playoff seeding? Like, it could, but I don't know.
Certainly could.
Yeah. Maybe I'm arguing that it should just be a playoff thing, but.
Yeah, but I mean, this is all leading up to the playoffs, so you have to have the same precedent sets. Although that's not how it works at all. So I'm just full of shit. Don't even know what I'm talking about. All right. Anyways, what else you got? OEL. OEL left the game. We had a healthy team. We had Nyes come back, Tavares comes back, and the scoring comes back, and the team comes together, and it's starting to look up. And all of a sudden, OEL is not on the bench after the first, and leaves the game with a lower body injury. This team is cursed.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not. I would rather get Nyes and Tavares back than, I'm happier about that.
Yeah, but they just came back. And now, we lost another guy.
I know.
Like, they're so injury prone. It's ridiculous.
I mean, like, the whole NHL.
Do you ever remember a year where the Leafs have been that injured?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of injuries throughout the entire league. Like, it's just hockey, man. Like, it's a physical sport, and guys are gonna go down. You just hope that it's not like really big. Like when Robertson took a really put his friggin' body on the line with the block and could hardly get off the ice. Like I was kind of worried about that, but like it just ends up being you get a bit of dead leg once you take a puck that hard. But yeah, man, it's a physical sport. So thing like guys are going to get injured, and that's why you need to have depth. You know, like you need to be able to move things around and it not affect you too much. So I don't know. I guess Philip Myers is getting back in the lineup. That's for sure. I'm
Doesn't
happy
hurt your
about
feelings
that.
at all, does it?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it does like. I'm not saying Philip Myers is better in OEL though. You know, you'd rather have healthy OEL. But the thing is you know, regardless of how big of an injury it is, there's still time, and you know, there's the Four Nations break coming up. So, you know, if we lose them at all, at least you know that there's like a big chunk of time that everyone's gonna not be playing hockey.
Speaking of that Four Nations break, Yanni Hakanpää officially ruled out of the Four Nations face-off.
Of course.
Can you believe that he makes a $1.4 million or something like that against the Leafs cap? For
Yeah.
what?
I mean, like he's on LTIR, right? Like he's not actually.
Is he? I thought he's like practicing with the team. Like he's like
is
doing
he?
interviews and shit in the morning. Like,
Oh man, yeah. I mean, I guess that kind of sucks, but I like. Is the idea that he's just gonna come and play in the playoffs? Like, I don't see that being like a really good strategy if a guy only
No.
playing 2 games and then you're just gonna roll him out there. So, yeah, it's a bit of a mystery. I mean, it maybe is a bit of a trait of, you know, Brad Treliving that every year he's gonna bring in one question mark of a defenseman. You know, he's the one for this year. So, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of weird. I'm waiting for Matthews to be ruled out, but I guess he's full-fledged going to be going.
yeah, they just announced that he's like 100% in Rocket.
Yeah.
How do you hold that guy back at this point though? Like he's been a stud and he's scored his ass off over the last 2 weeks. He deserves to go. He doesn't look hurting at all. You know, it would suck if he got hurt, came back and was different, but you can't keep him at this point. There's absolutely no questions that he's ready to go.
Yeah, I do agree. Like he's been playing well enough. You can't hold him back. That's for sure. Yeah, I have the same words as you. I haven't wanted to really speak them out, but you know, for him to come back any different than he goes to the tournament, that would be devastating. So you just, but like I was saying earlier, like it's hockey, it's a physical sport. Like, you know, if something happens, it's not because he had anything before necessarily.
Yeah,
you know?
there's
like,
no indication for us right now to think that he's any more
unless he goes back to
get
Germany
hurt than the next
then we
guy.
know for sure 100% if he goes to Germany. But otherwise, yeah, it is what it is. You know, it like you really hope that your team's just going to be 100% healthy all the time, but that's just never the case. And but yeah, I'm excited though. Are you excited for the Four Nations? I know it means absolutely nothing, but it's just going to be cool
to see some of these guys play together. Like the whole McKinnon, the Nova Scotia, what do they call them? Nova Scotia Mafia, the McKinnon, Marchand and Crosby. Like that's going to be great. Like I can't wait to see McDavid and Marner play together. Like what a team this is going to be. It's like hopefully they can just outscore their problems because I'm really not sure about the back end, but like I don't know if like they can get decent goaltending, like this team is going to be studly. It's just really worried about like how much they can keep it out of the back of their own net.
For sure. Like I think, yeah, like you nailed it on the head there. Like they got to outscore their problems, I think. But yeah,
well, I think they can. I think they're set up well to do so.
And I think it's just going to be so amazing just to see all those guys wear the same color shirt and be on the ice together. Like, regardless of how it all plays out, obviously I'm just going to be rooting for Canada like no other. But, you know, however it plays out, I'm just going to be so happy just to see it all, you know, see them all play. Even just to see Marner and Matthews on the opposite sides, like,
Face
that's
off
going to be
against
fun.
each other.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be interested to see Team USA as well, but I'm certainly going to be cheering Canada. It's going to be hard to miss a game. Like I might not watch the Finland-Sweden game, but
I'm watching.
I'll probably be like all over every game that's broadcast from that tournament.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting stuff. It's been a long time since we've had international play best on best.
Oh yeah. Like what? Like 12 years or maybe more. Like, I don't even know.
A long time.
Well, I guess, do you count the weird one where it's like Team North America, the Young Guns? Yeah. So if we're not counting that, then it's been a long friggin' time.
That was
even
like
if you count that, I was gonna say, even if you count that, it's been like 8 years, but before that, like, yeah, I think it's like 12 or 16. Think about how young Crosby was. Like, that's how I gauge it. Like, that guy's so much older than the last time he played in one of these things. It's disgusting.
Yeah, but he's still probably going to be a stud fucking weapon. He is. Even at like 50 years old or whatever he is, he's going to be an absolute weapon.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even just the culture that he'll bring to the team, like, he's basically the only guy bringing the last generation of teams to this team, and that's always been like a big part of Team Canada's, like, the culture around it. So I mean, he's definitely, I think there's no question why he's named captain. He's just, you think about Team Canada and you think about Sidney Crosby. How can you not?
Yeah, I gotta jump in and say he's the guy for sure. And all three choices, great choices for the letters. Go Team Canada.
Yeah, I was giving Ted a hard time in our little private chat about McKinnon not getting a letter. We all understand why. I mean, McDavid, you see him tonight, and like, just the way everyone talks about him, it's clear, like, just the handing over of the torch in a way. But yeah, I'm excited to see, like, McKinnon. I think of all guys is going to be just as exciting, right? Like, I'm excited to see him as much as anyone.
Oh,
I like Mike in our comments there. Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah.
Skinner wins it for the Leafs. We were saying, Klingberg. I mean, he pretty much offside review wins it for the Leafs tonight. Thankfully, something goes our way. But yeah, as an Oilers fan, as a Leafs fan, doesn't matter who you were tonight. It was a hell of a game to watch, exciting to watch. And no, we do not want Skinner. Even if he will fit in the overhead, we will not take him back with us. You can keep him, and you cannot have one of our goalies. We enjoy them very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we just need our other one back. But yeah, we're happy in our situation there. I like Skinner, like I said, when you catch him on the right night, he's amazing. But yeah, he was definitely our best player in the first period, and John Klingberg was our best player in the third period, and we appreciate that.
If only you could get the Skinner and for him to play the important games as the best Skinner, and clearly not the opposite. So that's the issue with him right now.
Yeah.
So anything else you have to go over this game here, CP? I'm out of notes on this one.
No, I don't think so. Oh, the Marner goal. I thought Marner had like the biggest highlight reel goal of his career. Ended up that it goes off his skate, so it's not as quite as nice as I thought it was. But I mean, that was pretty exciting at the very beginning, 18 seconds in, and I was like, oh, that's on the reel. But yeah, it's kind of, that's where, like, yeah, the kick in goal, no one was going to review that one, but it's funny to see it turn into that. Other than that, though,
we got Dyslexic over here trying to trade Riley for, I think, Skinner in the comments.
Yeah, I mean,
and we got $100 Tim Hortons card.
Wow.
I don't know. We're getting up here now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I'm interested in giving up Riley for Skinner. I'll accept
$100 to Tim
anyone.
Hortons.
Yeah, I mean, that's important. That's the only thing is I'd probably just give it to my fiance because I don't really go.
All right, so we got late games coming up this week. Tuesday, we got the Flames at 9 p.m. We'll be here, I'm sure. Unfortunately,
9 p.m.
Tired,
that's not too bad. I can do 9
here.
though.
We got Thursday at 10. Thankfully, I don't work Fridays.
Yeah, union guy. So, Jesus.
So we'll be all right. We're doing late games this week. We do have a California trip coming up later in February, and I am not looking forward to that.
I'm with Diz on this one. Sorry, just got to jump in. I'm so with Diz on this perspective.
What, the Riley or the
no? Who cares what the host say?
Oh, that's good. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that.
Funny. Nobody ever does anyways, so what else is new? All right. Anyways, Let's wrap this one up. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll be back after the Calgary game on Tuesday. But this has been Split the Defense Leafs post game presented by Laforest Electrical Contractors, serving the Kingston and surrounding areas since 2004. Leave us a comment if you haven't already. Thank you to everyone that has. Thanks for joining us. We love having you here, and we'll see you next time. Hit that like button on your way out the door. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Follow the boys on Twitter at STDPWebby, at Craig D. Pearce, and at Ted_is_show.